Luigi's Mansion 3 is a game where you commit aggressive acts of larceny and property damage. Sometimes you also capture ghosts.
Oh boy, phew. Oh.
Luigi receives a letter from the Grand Hotel Last Resort stating he was a lucky winner for a free stay, and he gets to invite friends and family. He obviously should have known better after last time he was a lucky winner for something. Dragging his brother and the princess into this predictable trap, he soon finds out the hotel is haunted and King Boo has escaped. Again! They can't get a monk or a priest to exorcise the guy. After all, Nintendo doesn't like sequels that don't bring back the same villains over and over. The plot is whatever. It doesn't even try to be more than an excuse to put Luigi in this ghost hunting situation again. But no one plays Luigi's Mansion for the plot since the first sequel. The presentation in a typical next level game's fashion is really good. They show in Dark Moon they really know how to make the Mario characters more expressive than ever, with a lot of stretch and squash in full display with the character animations. In Luigi's Mansion 3 they improved so much you might say the expressiveness was brought to the next level. To say Luigi's Mansion 3 is full of personality is an understatement.
Whoa.
They clearly put a lot of care into the design of each individual room. The game is full of objects and furniture you can interact with, be it with the suction or exhaust functions of the poltergeist, or just having Luigi touch them directly, resulting in revealing parts of the puzzle you need to complete, a ghost or collectible, or sometimes just more of Luigi's goofy hijinks. It's almost like a point-and-click adventure game, and this makes the hotel scenario feel very real and palpable, instead of a bunch of props. The harsh truth is, most of the collectibles you find, which consist of cash, are practically useless even after you unlock a Gat Shop. At best, the amount of cash you have when you beat the game defines your rank, and I don't think the rank is useful for anything either. Certainly not worth the time you spend obsessively searching for any coins or bills you miss. If you ignore most of the criminal interactions, you still have the ghost hunting. The design of the ghosts is a huge improvement over the super generic ghosts of Dark Moon. Even the ghosts have distinct personalities you will quickly learn to associate with their color and strategy. The game does an excellent job teaching you how to use the poltergeist to fight and capture ghosts, which for the most part remains unchanged from the series beginnings. If you played Luigi's Mansion 1 or 2, you know how it works. The ghost encounters turn into some of the trickiest in the series later in the game. Challenge seekers should have something to look forward to. Though, remember, this is still a kid-friendly game, don't expect that you will die a lot and you will like it kind of experience. New to Luigi's Mansion 3, however, is the ability to mash A once the icon is charged to slam the ghost violently and make your capture counter timer HP thing drop much faster. You can target any direction this way and destroy furniture or damage other ghosts caught in the impact. The game will sometimes throw ridiculous crowded encounters, expecting you to make use of that ability, so make sure you master it. The controls for the ghost capture are very intuitive, and that's all the compliment I can give to this game's controls, because good lord are the controls a freaking chore otherwise. But before I get to that, there's another and far more important addition, Luigi. This gooey thing shaped after Luigi allows you to split and make past challenges that require 2 Luigis to do. Since it's made of goo, you can also use Luigi to pass or fall through grates and do whatever a Luigi man can. These Luigi puzzles start off super easy and get increasingly more creative on higher floors. The goo is made from will be stored inside poltergeist and will even shake to help you track boos if they're nearby. I really like this feature. I didn't expect to care much about it when they advertised it like it was this amazing new addition, but after playing the game for myself, I get why they promoted it so much. The many ways you use Luigi to advance or even deal with some kinds of enemies is what really sets Luigi's Mansion 3 apart from the first two games. It's with deep regret that I say this, but in spite of everything this game does well in terms of static, animation and interaction, the controls really drag the experience down. This is a video game after all. Luigi moves like a drunk old man and has this weird laggy momentum to his more basic actions like running, which throw my timing off frequently. Worst of all is how aiming works, because they went with some unholy tank controls for that. That's right. Aiming with the right analog stick involves rotating Luigi clockwise or counterclockwise instead of letting you quickly aim in relation to the camera. I don't understand this decision at all. This control scheme makes sense for a controller where the aim is done using a 4-direction input like a D-pad. But in a game, with a controller featuring 2 analog sticks with 360 degrees of precise aiming? It feels like they made it this way just for sake of adding artificial difficulty. Imagine if you were playing Metroid Dread and the free aiming required you to rotate Sam's arm like a clock until the reticle aimed at what you wanted to shoot at. Just compare the two games deal with this, please, because I can't fathom how anyone sane could defend how Next Level Games did it. I know what you're thinking, and yes, this is how it's always been with the series. The reason I'm complaining here is because Luigi's Mansion 3 actually puts you in situations that demand quicker reaction. The final boss, for example, has fairly simple patterns to look out for, only made way harder due to the way Luigi moves. Most other boss fights are fine. The game will, however, have regular ghost encounters mixing ghosts of different types that demand a level of aiming and reacting that simply feels like a fight against bad controls. Like I said before, the process of capturing ghosts uses very intuitive controls. It's just everything else in regards to combat feels just horrible. The game tries to compensate this by having the targeting being somewhat homey and when you need to hit with the projectiles, but I found that half the time the reticle will either glitch out or simply not appear at all when it should. Not helped by how difficult it can be to have a good depth perception and not drift Luigi's slow robotic arm away from the direction you had to aim. We have decades of game design advancements using true thumbsticks that are just being completely ignored here, and I sincerely hope if there's a fourth game, they will at the very least give players the choice of not using tank controls for aiming. It's games like these that make my decision of not reviewing games I haven't finished justified. During my first 5 or so hours, I would have told anyone this was an easy recommendation and that I had no complaints whatsoever. Because I experienced it till the end, including all the later parts that really emphasize how frustrating the controls get in relation to what is expected of the player, I am no longer sure who to recommend it for. I didn't necessarily feel robbed by paying the full $60 for the game. So I'll just say, as long as you don't have any problems with the very short length of the story, you won't regret paying that much. Of course, if the annoying tank controls bother you as much as they did for me, I at very least wait until it's on sale somewhere. Preferably physical so you can resell it in case it pisses you off. There is additional content focused on multiplayer, in form of Screen Park if you're competitive and the Skyscraper if you prefer cooperating. I don't have footage of those modes because I couldn't get enough people to join me. Sorry, but I don't like competitive online and there was no way I was going to rely on random people without a voice chat. Either way, there is repeatable content outside of a single player and achievements to get if you care about that sort of thing. Before I forget, there is co-op multiplayer in the single player story as well, but it's local only. I cannot vouch for how fun it is, I can only assume it would make the game way easier. So again, do I or do I not recommend Luigi's Mansion 3? To me it boils down to 3 things. You can tolerate the controls, you enjoy investigating every nook and cranny of the rooms, and the length of the single player story taking me about 3 days to finish is enough for you. If you're all good for those 3 things, get the game. I definitely think the style, the presentation of the story and its little moments, the atmosphere and the tone of the game, the environment design are all high quality. I simply think the controls don't deserve the pass they get. In a video game, that's a massive problem.
Huh? Haha, I did it!
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, please consider subscribing for more. I make these for all sorts of games whenever I'm able to beat them, including modern and retro games. Cheers!